If you don't know, my name is Nick. I live in the Catskills, upstate New York. Working on the truck videos, working in the shop, working in the house, that sort of stuff. If you like that, subscribe. Today's going to be like a detailed walk around of my Ram 2500 build. This is a 2021 Tradesman. I bought it in May of this year. It's 2021 right now, so it's about 6 months old. 4,700 miles as of right now. The build, we're about 20% of the way through. That sounds, not 20% left, 20% of the way through. There's a lot left to do. And I'm not building like a rock crawler here. I'm building a, whatever you want to call it, touring vehicle, overland, adventure vehicle, that sort of stuff. I want to be able to get in this with my wife, my kid who's almost 1, my 2 dogs, and go camping for a week or drive across the country, either one of those, and be totally comfortable. That's the end goal. I would say within about a month or so is when it's really going to start getting nuts. This is like stage 1. That's when stage 2 will probably start. And it's going to go to a place where I've never taken a vehicle before. I've worked on vehicles throughout my entire life. Fast cars, competition car stereo stuff, but never this type of thing. I'm very excited for it. So let's get started. We'll go through everything. One thing I should point out, everything on here I've done myself except mounting tires on rims because I can't balance a tire. I don't have a machine for that. But everything else I've done myself. The links to those videos will be in the description. You can watch how I did everything. I go into great detail on how to install everything that I've done. All right, let's get started. When I got this truck, it had chrome. This piece was chrome. This is called applique. Some people think it's called applique. It's not, it's applique. And it's this piece, this is a single piece up here. And then there's 3 bottom pieces. They were chrome. This was also chrome. These U pieces and the Ram logo. I found these applique pieces used. If you buy them new, they're a freaking fortune. They're like $1,000 for this set. I got it for $400. Used, it was a totaled out 2020. Was it a 2020? I think it was a 2020. But either way, they were perfect. And I got them from a place in Michigan, swapped them out, and I have the chrome pieces that I could probably sell for that amount of money. Honestly, because they're brand new. And those things, the chrome ones are even, this is only, the black was $1,000. Imagine what the chrome is. Chrome's are probably $1,300, $1,400 or something like that. So I swapped these out. The next thing I did was, the bumper was chrome. This front bumper and the back bumper, we'll get to that. But the front bumper was chrome. I took that out and I replaced it with this. This is a Westin HDX Pro bumper. Now this bumper and the back bumper, I got used from someone about 2 hours away. I got a steal of a deal. I'm telling you right now, it was a steal. New, this front bumper is like $1,600. The back bumper that I also have is $1,400. Tax and shipping, you're looking at $3,500, $3,600 for these bumpers new. I got them used for $1,000 cash. $1,000. I had to drive 2 hours there and 2 hours back. Incredible deal. I spent $30 on some bed liner, and I repainted these things, and they look mint. First, I sanded them. I'll link that video down there too. I sanded and I painted these things, and they came out so incredible. I can't believe how good they look. It was completely and totally worth the time and effort. They look brand new. The color is better suited for me, to be honest with you. It's more of a flat black, matte black. It's a tougher coating. The bed liner, paint is way tougher than the paint that was on there. Getting it in, obviously, is difficult. It's a heavy bumper. It's about 180 pounds, and I think the stock bumpers is probably about 60 pounds, maybe 70 pounds. So you're looking at 100 to 120 pounds extra on the front end. To get this thing up, you need 3 people, or you need an engine hoist. I used an engine hoist. You need 3 people because you need 1 on either side, and you need 1 person throwing the bolts in. I personally wouldn't trust up, and I don't care what they can lift up. This thing, you grab it, there's no easy place to grab this thing. This thing will eat your hands up. It's not like a barbell with 180 pounds on it. That's not what this is. It's very awkward to pick up. So 2 friends helping you out is really what you need, or an engine hoist. I got an engine hoist. I actually got an engine hoist used for $150. The thing was brand new. It's really just, I got a great deal on that as well. The winch here. Now, this is interesting because I originally bought the Harbor Freight Badland winch steel cable. The problem is that it doesn't fit in that spot. I thought it fit. And if it's just one top, obviously it's no big deal, but it's inside the bumper. It didn't fit. I had to return it. And I replaced it with this rough country 12,000 pound winch. And this one just fits. And I am talking, I have to press it in. It's touching at the top and bottom. Now the solenoid box on top is still there. I could take that off, but I'm not going to get into that. It fits just the way it is. I might move the solenoid box in the future, but as of right now, it's in there and it fits just barely. This is steel cable. Why'd I go with steel cable over a synthetic? Synthetic is great. The only thing wrong with the synthetic is that if it gets wet and it freezes, there's a blowout and it's over. Where I am now, a lot of rain and it's very cold. It's freezing temperatures 6 months out of the year. Overnight, easily 6 months out of the year. We run the pellet stove 7, 8 months out of the year. That's it. So it's cold here and it rains a ton. If you don't know anything about the Catskills, all the water in the city comes from us. We ship it all down there. We get a lot of rain. So I didn't want to have to deal with that. I like synthetic though. Safety wise, I mean, it's way better than this steel cable, obviously. This thing could kill you. There's no doubt about that. But you got to be able to use it for it to kill you, I guess, right? If the thing's broken and busted up because it's frozen, you can't use it. So you just got to be careful with the steel cable. You save a bunch of money. This rough country was only $400. Now the Badland was, I think, $550. So I actually saved $150. Now I can switch to a synthetic if I wanted to. Just the rope. I could take the steel off and I could put the synthetic on if I decide I want to. I don't think I'm going to want to. I don't think I'm going to want to, but you never know. You never know. But $400, that is budget. And the reason I got a budget one was because I'm not going to be winching every day. Like I said, I'm not building a rock crawler. This is essentially a just in case type of thing. Totally and completely just in case. Let's talk lights for a second. This Westin HDX Pro, you can get a light bar with this. It's pretty expensive. The bar, the lights, can look at like $600. I'm considering it only because I don't like these holes right here. That would cover it up. It's a stupid way to cover up holes, spend $600. But either way, we'll get to that another time. I did, however, put lights in this spot. This is a 10-inch light spot. I use these four-wheel drive King lights. Cheap, $40 each, Amazon. They're supposed to be $6,500 though. This yellow is a tint that I put on. It's covered twice. I put it on one time, the tint. Wasn't dark enough for me. I put a second one on. It seems pretty good. I might do a third. The problem is with 6500, if you don't know, 6500 is very white. When you're driving for long periods of time in pitch black with these lights on, your eyes can hurt. Mine, after like 20 minutes, it's your eyes strain, you know what I mean? Because you're looking at such contrasting things, pitch black and bright white. And it can be very tiresome too. So if you see that happening to you, you have these white lights on and they're hurting your eyes and you're getting tired or your eyes are straining, throw a little yellow on there. That's what I did. It's going to help out a lot. I have this hooked up to the Snow Chief group, so the upfitter control module. It's basically a system that comes with the Ram Snow Chief group package. It's a package of options where it's auxiliary buttons in the dash. They're all pre-wired, ready to go. You just take the two wires from the light and just connect it to the two wires that are underneath the hood. You don't have to go through the firewall or anything. I have a video on it. It's super incredible. Really just the easiest thing going, and it's worth, that's just one of the features in the Snow Chief group. As far as like adventure vehicles are concerned, Overland, if you're getting a Ram 2500, Snow Chief group, absolute must have. I did a video on that as well. So much amazing stuff. But either way, that's how I had these connected and it works flawlessly. I can also change it to run on just on battery, or I need the actual car on. I can toggle that in the system for the Snow Chief group, the upfitter control module. Amazing. All right, let's get to tires, wheels, and suspension. Okay, wheels. I went with Method. You really can't go wrong with Method. These are Method 317s. These are not beadlock. It's just like the fake beadlock look. And they're 18-inch rims. You know, I did really have a tough decision. I thought about going bronze. A lot of people are going bronze now. So even though black wheels are trendy, bronze is kind of taken over as being trendy. Either way, those bronze wheels, they look great. The problem is that I'm not done with the truck. And if I was done right now the way it sits, bronze is the right choice. but I'm not done. And a lot of the stuff I'm going to be doing is going to be black. And I can't have like tons of black and then just bronze. I don't think it would look good. This just blends in. It's the safe approach. It's the safe move for sure. But again, those bronze wheels do look damn good. Either way, the part I don't like about it is these center caps. I'm gonna take them out, and I'm gonna paint behind them. But to do that, you got to take the wheel off. You got to take the tire off. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but the only way to get this off is take the tire off and push it out the back. It's stupid. I've tried many different ways to get this thing off, and it just doesn't. It's not. I don't think it's a clip in. It's like a retainer piece that you have to push this whole thing through. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of these. A lot of people are taking them off now. I think the wheel is going to look better with these things off. We'll find out. Well, you'll find out when I get them off. At some point in the near future, it's going to happen. Probably when I rotate these tires before I go away in a couple months. I'll have maybe 7,000 miles on them or something. So rotate them. And then I'll pop these things off, and then I'll paint what's behind. Tires. Wild Peak AT3Ws. Now, people say that these are the best all-terrain tires for the snow and rain. And so far, I mean, I've only driven them a couple thousand miles, but they've been fine for me. I mean, they've been great. We'll see what happens when the snow comes, but yeah, I mean, they've been good. These are 295/70 R18s. Now, if you didn't watch my 35s are a ripoff video, you should. I don't know, $100 cheaper than the 35s, and they're basically the same size. So I would check that video out. These are 34.3, and I think the 35s are 34.5. I need to drive them like 10,000 miles to really say, definitively. But everybody says these things are great. It's this versus the KO2, and the KO2 is really like a dry weather type of tire. So it's really the KO2 versus the AT3. This is the AT3W. I guess W stands for wet or winter or something like that. 80 PSI tire too, by the way, which is great. That means that if I ever did have to tow something really heavy, I'm not going to be worried. You really don't have to worry at 65 PSI anyway, but hey, 80 PSI is nice. Suspension change. I just went with a leveling kit. Remember, I'm not rock crawling. This is a Thorin leveling kit. It's a 2.0 shock, Fox 2.0, and the spring. It went in fairly easy. I have the video, you can check it out. Not a hard install at all. And honestly, I think this tire would fit even without that suspension, but I actually did it for the ride quality. I also did a couple other things for the ride quality. I did the Thorin anti-sway bar right up here in front. That was actually the first thing I did. That combined with the, if you can believe it, the bumper change really made this thing ride really good. It rides better than the 1500 that I had before it. So I think if you're looking for a better ride, this combination, the leveling kit, a good leveling kit, Thorin or a Carly, plus the sway bar. The Carly is going to cost you more money, by the way. The Thorin, this is why I went with Thorin. A lot of people say it's like 1 and 1A. So Carly and Thorin, 1 and 1A. But the Thorin is less expensive by a good deal. The sway bar might have been 50% cheaper. I'm sorry, not 50% cheaper. It was like $550 versus like $750. And the leveling kit might have been like $300 less too. So you're talking about a lot. You're talking like $600 cheaper in total. But yeah, if you can put it in $1,300, the ride's going to be better with those two things combined. And that's really it. I really believe all this combination. I got the bumper and I got the winch. If you think the winch doesn't weigh a lot, freaking try and pick one of those things up. That's like 50, 60 pounds, easy. So that preloading on that front just really takes care of the small, tiny bumps. I really believe that. It's hard to pick up the truck now because of how much weight's up in the front. It's not a ton of weight. By the way, I did weigh this. The way it sits right now, I'm 200 over where it was at stock. So the front bumper probably weighed maybe 75 pounds. So I took that off and I replaced it. So and I added 100 pounds or 120 pounds up front, plus the winch, right? And then the back bumper too, which we'll get to. The last thing up here, I guess we should talk about is these. These are not stock. These are Bushwhacker OE style fender flares. I didn't want one of those big crazy fender flares that stick out far and it's got the fake bolts and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted something that like a Power Wagon look. right? This has that power wagon look. It's smooth finish. I think that's another thing that I could say, smooth finish. 3 3/4 high, sticks out 3/4 of an inch. I also took off the mud guards. I did a video on this. The mud guards, if you leave them on, you got to notch these things out crazy. These things are $400. That's a lot of money to start cutting and trimming all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't look good. It's never going to look good. So I took the mud guards off, and it's actually better to take the mud guards off if you're in a muddy area. It sounds stupid, but mud cakes up behind those things. They're just at the perfect level just to catch the mud. I took those off, I put these in, and I also didn't put the molding the little rubber channel that they gave me. I just threw that thing out, and I bought this other channel. Check out the video if you're looking for that. But it's a lot thicker, and it's a lot nicer, and it goes on a lot easier. It looks good. I'm very happy with this look now, the way it is, not notched at all, and this different U channel, this rubber U channel that I have up here. It's looking good. Super easy to put in too. If you have to notch it, you're talking like a freaking full day. It's 8 notches, every single side. This thing needs to get notched twice. Here, there, everywhere. It's just horrible. Okay, this is the HDX Pro rear bumper. These lights right here, these are these Westin lights. These actually come with the bumper, I think. Well, at least when I bought it from the guy, he gave them to me for free. Also, these lights, these replace the license plate lights that are in the OEM one. You can't swap those over. They're like wacky shaped. They just drill a hole right here and give you these lights. You can connect them up to the actual lines that are used for the OEM lights, but you have to cut off the clips. So you cut off the clips and you're just hard wiring it. That's what I did. I just soldered them. And other than that, the installation was totally fine. A lot of people are complaining about this space right here. And I think a couple things. I think that this space right here is the same as it would be on the stock. It just looks bigger because this is a black bumper. The space over here, though, is definitely bigger because the stock bumper has like a curve. It hugs it a little bit. It is what it is. I don't mind it that much. I'm pretty tall, so I don't see it unless I do this or I'm like 100 feet away. But I have a plan to possibly cover this area. So we'll talk about that in a later video, maybe next year or whatever. But as of this moment, I don't really mind that much. But if you mind, I might make you happy next year. So that's pretty much it. Obviously, I put that black emblem on. I'll tell you what, the emblems, you could spend a fortune trying to replace all the M ones. I replaced the 2 hood ones. Obviously, the ones on the grill that I talked about, the ram and the 2 U-shaped pieces, and this one was like $275 just to replace that stuff. I debadged the side. I took the Hemi logo off, and then I took the ram off on both sides. If I would have had to buy that, it's another $200. This is ridiculous. So I'm not spending freaking, $500 on badges. That's absurd. So I took the side ones off. I think it looks good actually without the side ones on there, to be honest with you. Okay, that's where we're at. Again, really only about 20% of the way through. It's going to get real juicy real quick. Within a month, it's going to get juicy. So I guess I should point out the Tradesman 2021, what did I get with it as far as features are concerned? There was 4 things that I had to have it. One, I had to have this silver color because it makes scratches disappear. I know it's bland and people call it rental silver, but it's rental companies get silver cars for a reason, because scratches don't show up. That's just the way it is. It looks good for a very long time. That's why I got it. I needed 410 gears because I'm hauling a bunch of weight, or I'm going to be. I needed the 8.4 Uconnect screen. I wanted the CarPlay. I wanted the bigger screen for the maps and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted the Snow Chief group. That was like the last thing I really needed. It's just so powerful. Look up the video I did on the Snow Chief group. Incredible stuff comes with this thing. Had to have it. I also wanted the shifter on the floor, but it wasn't in my top 4. So the shifter on the floor, meaning the 4-wheel drive on the floor, not electronic. It's more reliable, the shifter on the floor. But I couldn't get it. It's hard to get all these things unless you order the truck, and I didn't. I got an in-transit truck, so it was just a vehicle the dealer ordered for the lot. And I saw it on the website in transit, and I bought it while it was in transit. I didn't even see it. So that's it. All right, hope you liked the video. See ya.